Dusek off. And Siebrecht is going to get locked up. Deuce is not enough. You're done. You got to be careful when you mess with the Tiger's cage, young man.
Yeah. This is BEG Wrestling. We are here to... Iowa, Penn State. We are here exclusive. The clash of the Titans. 23-14 Penn State. Give us your exclusive analysis.
Well, first off, before we get into individual weights, I have to say, how can you not be happy? Just beating Iowa. Iowa's good. I will give them that. They're good and all that. To win, anytime you win. Kale's up 6-5 on Brands.
6-5 Kale.
Overall, and I don't know what your thoughts are, but that match was kind of bad for wrestling.
Well, we will get into that match.
I mean, it's boring.
If you want to get in, but before we dive into the weight by weight, what's your synopsis? Penn State won 23-14. I remember you saying Penn State by 5 and then Penn State by 9, and then all of a sudden, how do you actually feel?
Well, I feel good because it's just a win is a win. At one point, I said, I don't care how ugly it is. It doesn't matter to me. Somehow, if Penn State has more points than Iowa at the end, I'm happy. However, I'm not like bubbly happy. I'm just not. I'm a little sad just for the state of wrestling because we had the whole country watching this match, number 1 against number 2. And I'm going to tell you, we had a whole bunch of guys out there wrestling not to lose. And boring.
We'll get into that. We did not see Spencer Lee, RBY. Very disappointing. Will it ever happen in college? I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, RBY had the best idea yet. Pay-per-view. Dude,
I pay pay-per-view.
And let's make it happen. Somebody.
But let's get into the weight classes. We're going to start with 125. We all knew what was going to happen. It was Spencer Lee against a Penn State hack.
Well,
did anything change?
No. First off, Gary Steen's not a hack. For the record, I haven't given up on Gary Steen qualifying. That last win he had against Michigan State last Sunday was big. It was over number 24. Okay, it wasn't setting the world on fire, but that's the kind of thing that gets your confidence rolling. And that's really all Gary needed. He's got the skills. He's got the speed. I don't know why he didn't wrestle when they put out Vespa, but I got to tell you right now, that man deserves a round of applause, Vespa, because let me tell you.
I will give it to Vespa. That boy thought he did not get pinned. He took him down. He took him down. He took him down first.
0-2.
All of a sudden, I thought, who is this man?
You know,
who is this man?
I'm so tired. We all
I like the
Spencer.
aggression.
We all like
Get
Spencer.
aggressive.
But come on, guys. Enough with this ridiculous praise. It's all over. It wasn't a matter of whether Spencer was going to get the pin or not, and that was actually against a better guy, Steen.
Yeah, Steen. Yeah, they were ranking him up against Steen.
It was how many times he could pin him. Whoa. Let's bring it back down with Spencer. We even got his coach saying Spencer is the best wrestler he's ever seen.
Goodness.
At any time, including our current Olympians, including all time, even the old days, including any country. Now, Tom, I love you, Tom. What? What are you talking about?
Boy is delusional.
Come on.
And best ever, Tom.
Come on.
Seriously, Tom.
I expected 5 more than I did 6 here. You know, you kind of talked me into 6. Let's give them 6.
No.
I'll go with it. Spencer's great. He's going to get more pins. But I tell you what, if somebody's main goal is to keep you from pinning them, most likely they're going to do it. Unless you can catch them at something. But
Spencer did not get the pin. He got the tech fall. 5-0 Iowa.
18-2.
We move into weight class 133. RBY and Teske.
Oh my goodness. You guys all probably learned this week that Teske and RBY, they practiced together all summer. When two wrestlers get very, very knowledgeable of each other, it's tough to run up the score. I don't care if one guy's substantially better or not. It's just tough to run up the score. And I was thinking Well, I mean, last week we said 3 for RBY. I didn't know how much they practiced together. I learned that this week myself, and that really made me think 3 points.
Well,
but RBY, that was clutch, because at that point it took off the pressure of everyone behind him. That was one of the. It was
a close score, and RBY locked him up.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And what you thought was 3 points or maybe 4, boom, it changed to 6. Just like that. Changed the match.
Yes.
And then we move into 141, the Bartlett Woods match.
Oh, man.
What happened?
This is where we got a long dry spell where things weren't really fun tonight, were they?
It was 2 Titans going up against each other, and it was like, you're not going to see a lot of
You know when I'll call you a Titan? When you're out there wrestling. Not dancing, pulling on the head, dancing, pulling on the head, dancing, pulling on the head. You're a Titan when you go after it and make things happen. Now, there's a time and a place when you're up against a tough guy that's very like a Jason Ness or Siebrecht. We'll talk about this more, but I liked how Haines wrestled tonight. But back to Bartlett. Dude, I love you, Bo, but come on now. And if you're going to get that kind of junk out of your system, let's resort back to last year. Because last year I won a whole bunch of times. Right at the end, I remember that. Well, meanwhile, he's going to shoot on you and score. I don't have any doubt that the coaches are going to address this. You got to decide, I'm going to win this thing. Not, let me chess match this. I'm up to here with chess matches.
Was it a chess match? Because I'll tell you what I saw. Just a complete lack of aggression. Basically, a second period escape, no second period offense.
No.
At all. There was no offense, dude. You're not going to beat Real Woods if you don't have any offense.
You know how a lot of Penn State guys looked tonight? Like Iowa wrestlers.
Yeah.
No offense, but they did. They looked like Iowa wrestlers. Just pulling, pushing.
Nerves. Everyone was all nerved up.
Now, I understand you don't want to be sloppy, but you got to go.
At some point, you have to be fearless, and you have to hit the gas pedal.
Yes.
Boys, that takes us into
Absolutely.
149, Van Ness and Murin.
That was the most frustrating match.
Yeah.
I don't want to come on here and be like, man, he's angry. I'm not angry. But I am angry about the output of some of these guys. Van Ness.
How about Van wear a dress? Let's go! Are you serious?
And this was the time to get that out. At some point, Van Ness needs a go-to takedown. He's very good with his balance and all that. He's got a lot of bright spots, but he's not shown this yet this year, and that is a go-to takedown that he can pull out of the bag and go. We'll see. I mean, now's the time to see that. Get it out of your system, I guess.
So you're telling me Van Ness needs to find a number one move?
Yes.
Right now, he needs to find a number one.
On his feet. Absolutely.
To take you to the next level, Van Ness, you got to find a move, dude. Now we're moving in. 157, the match you all waited for, baby. It was Levi, your favorite, Haines and Siebrecht.
Yes. And I'll tell you, the one thing I'll say right out of the gates, Siebrecht, I keep getting more respect for that kid. He is, as it turns out, he's pretty tough. I thought this is an absolute weak spot for Iowa. Siebrecht could pull something out and get like a 7th or an 8th place this year. But he's going to have to be able to beat people like Haines, because Haines has it in him. I liked how Haines wrestled. He's just a smart wrestler. He wasn't going to do something foolish and get thrown to his back. He almost did that one time.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. This is what I see. I see Levi feeling his way out. Levi, as a true freshman, he's going up against these experienced veterans. Levi, I see pure talent going up against experience, trying to just figure it out.
A lot of it is just simple confidence, and you can kind of tell they don't have it yet. They're thinking about they're going
but
for
he's
it.
there.
It kind of goes back to wrestling not to lose. We even talked about next year, how Penn State will shake out with next year, and of course they got the studs, Starocci, Brooks, and Kerkvliet's back. Right now, I'm giving a passing grade to one of them for young guys, and that's Haines. Not just because he won the night, them other three.
By those three, you're talking Bartlett, Van Ness, and Facundo.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of Facundo, we're moving on, folks, to 165 tonight. It was Facundo. It was Kennedy.
I actually, after watching Who's Number One, where Kennedy kind of owned Facundo there, and I thought this will be a solid win for Kennedy, and this will be a growing experience for Facundo. Facundo did everything to set it up to win this match, but it just reminded me of how many matches last year by Bartlett, and I can understand last year Bartlett doing it. With Facundo, with this particular match, it's like ditto. He didn't do anything, and it's hard to give commentary when you're doing nothing but just pulling on the head, looking
There's
like...
nothing to talk about.
Thank goodness they have the coaches they have. For 10, 12 years straight, they've proven they've been able to turn things around, and this was definitely a learning experience.
A little more offense would be nice, dude. A little more offense.
I agree with that.
Would be nice. 174, it was Starocci. It was Brands.
I knew Brands was tough. This thing with Starocci, again, it kind of same with the three freshmen. I'm not understanding how you don't have the confidence to get in there and get a takedown. I can't tell you how impressed I am with Starocci on the top. Him and RBY just impressed me to no end. And that is great to have in your back pocket.
Back pocket, not front pocket. Did Penn State just overall come out tight? Traditional, we come out loosey-goosey. We came out a little tight, dude. Was that not very evident by numerous wrestlers?
That's a good analysis right there. In all seriousness, it was tight.
Why is Starocci in a close match with Brands?
Brands is tough, I understand, but that still should have been like a 4-1 match, 5-2 match, something very, very, well, a takedown maybe.
We expect more, Carter, out of you, but you got the job done. We're moving on. 184. It's Brooks. It was no Assad.
But
Drake Rhodes and no Assad.
It didn't matter for Iowa. Even if Brooks would have got the pin, it didn't matter. At that point, they knew they had to win the last two. Brooks looked good. And again, that kind of goes back.
Brooks got the tech fall.
Yeah, he got the tech fall. You say, man, that's pin.
Was it in impressive manner? Brooks didn't look great, if you ask me. I mean, he was kind of lethargic.
I mean, you take Brooks, he's so slick on his feet. I like how he changes directions. However, you want to turn too. And it's like all the practice you do, you talk about go-to moves, you want to go-to takedown. But you want to go-to turn too. When you're against a substantially lesser guy, you want a move that, you know what, you can get him over. But
if you are dominant, have a move
cranking.
and be dominant.
Yeah, crank.
Show your dominance.
That's going to be one of them things where you say, well, Brooks won't need it to win another title, and that's probably true. If he can win on his feet, Brooks can win.
We'll move on. We're on to 197. It was a premier matchup of the night. Max Dean, Warner.
Everybody praises Dean's top position, and of course it's good. Tonight he rode out Warner for that win, and that was clutch. In a clutch time.
That was a pressure situation that you had mentioned in the last episode. It could come down to this. It could come down to the Dean-Kerkvliet matches, and it did, and Dean delivered.
With Dean, he is good from the top, but he's not Starocci and he's not RBY. You can get out from Dean. Now we're back to the same thing. Dude, Max, you got to be able to get a takedown. There was a couple times there, like as you're watching, it's easy to backseat wrestle. You know what I mean?
Quarterback.
Whatever. I mean, we understand enough that it's different when you're out there. But the lack of attacks to go for it.
So Dean won, 2-0, basically on stamina?
I'll give you a clap, Max.
I'll give you
because that was big.
I'm not going that crazy. With a clap. We're moving on. Heavyweight, it came down to heavyweight.
I will give a clap there. I told you back at the All-Star Classic that Cassioppi would never beat Kerkvliet again.
You did.
However, Kerkvliet's had 2-3 times where he just did something. It was like a mental mistake. Last year's Big Tens against Cassioppi. He had that match won recently with Paris.
Yep.
I mean, really, it's a time to go, not that kind of go, not diving on your stomach. And I was starting to worry a little bit does Kerkvliet get a little nerved up in the big matches and possibly do dumb stuff? He didn't tonight. And the pressure was still a little bit on. Cassioppi gets that pin. Iowa still wins. So there was some pressure on Kerkvliet. I still think Kerkvliet's the best heavyweight in the country. I think he will beat Paris next time. They'll meet in the finals. We'll see. Maybe Cassioppi beats Paris. Could end
That
up.
ain't happening.
I don't know.
And if you're going to predict to me that Kerkvliet's making the finals, have you heard? The dude just signed a WWE wrestling contract.
Yeah.
You think he's not distracted? I'm pretty sure Kale is not thrilled at the fact that one of his wrestlers just signed an NIL deal.
Oh, I'm sure he's happy for him. I mean, them kids...
Maybe for him, not for the team.
I mean, just so it doesn't disrupt your mindset, your
I don't like
focus.
it at all. I don't like it at all. Why are you signing wrestling deals? You have a job here that you are working on.
Give them college kids money. They could use some money.
Sure.
They're out
but
there
I'll tell you
working
this.
hard.
Is this going to make him a better college wrestler? No. There ain't no way. Ain't no way this man. Kirk Levine is all of a sudden Mr. Distracted Levine. Now he's
Not
got
so
money
distracted
coming in.
tonight.
Now he's got money coming in. Well, he didn't look great tonight, if you ask me.
That's a
Didn't
great
look
wrestler he beat.
Final questions here. Listen, Penn State won 23-14. Overall, it's about what we expected. I want to know what your thoughts are. The future recruiting classes. How is this going to affect the future of Penn State, the future of Iowa?
Well, just winning the bout is big for recruiting. Both Iowa and Penn State, the big programs out there are in a constant battle for the best of the best in the recruits. And overall, the other part of it, it wasn't so great for recruits because what the heck's going on at Penn State?
I would argue it was good for Iowa. What Penn State is sold on is aggression, just nonstop relentlessness. I didn't see that tonight, dude. I saw almost Tom Brand's team acting like going out there not to lose. Not everyone. Most of Penn State came out, and I'm telling you, you think Bo's going to come out and do that? You think Jason Nolf is going to come out and act like that? No, those are big dogs. Those are big dogs that are coming out to eat, boys.
Penn State will be back. Going into that last bout, it went down to like the third tiebreaker bout points. It was kind of embarrassing. Penn State was losing in bout points. I don't think I remember that for a decade. Ultimately, I'm going to be happy because, you know why? They got the win.
Penn State, 23-14 over Iowa, folks. This is BET Wrestling. We'll be back.